Hello, everyone. I made it to alive. Finally. Just to let y'all know, I see this. I got some that I got to put on it. I don't know how long I'll do it later this afternoon. I am working on my Haid. I've decided that since I'm going into Jeremy's Giddy Up Along, that I don't want to start a new one right now, and I will just work daily on my Heaven and Earth designs, and that way I can get it done. So that is my plan. I see I don't have anyone in here, so I'll just sit here and just yap and hang out. And oh, I have someone in here. Hello, whoever you are. But I'm just gonna work on this, get it done. I got her little castle over her eyeball done, and now I'm working on her face. I'll be so glad when this is. I will not pick one this big to do again. Put it that way. It's like counted cross stitch on steroids. And if I do pick one, I won't do another J-Wall because that's really counted stitch on steroids. But I love her images. But hi Trina, I am doing very well, very well. I got over being sick, and while I was sick, I wasn't able to take my medicine for many days. And so my levels got way up. Hi, Palmy. My levels got way off, and I went through a week and a half before my levels got back to normal of just hibernating and not getting up and not doing anything. So it took if you get sick, try to at least get your medicines in, because I went for over a week without taking any, and yeah, it did a number. Uh, Heavy duty. Hi, baby cakes. And it did a heck of a number. But yeah, I'm actually working on my Haid, which, like I was saying, is like a cross stitch on steroids, and it's a J-Wall, so it's confetti nightmare. But I'm gonna take the camera and we'll flip you around for just a minute so you can see. I'm doing Once in a Blue Moon, and I'll flip the camera. I'll pick it up and show you. Oh, okay. I can do it this way. No? All right. There we go. That is where I am. I'm working right in here. It's so hard to do this. Okay. But I'll come out so you guys can see. Okay, the other way. Other way, other way. And I'm up there and I'm working on her face right now. But yeah. Oh. Well, this J-Wall is a Heaven and Earth design, and it's 160 centimeters long and 120 centimeters wide. Hi, Rose. And so it is massive. I've got the equivalent of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, starting my fifth, sixth, 30 by 40. So that's how much is in it already. And it's all blank, and it's double-sided tape, and it's a nightmare. It's just a nightmare. It's like, welcome to my nightmare. But I'm going to get this thing done if it kills me. If it kills me, I'm going to get this done. And I mean, it's so huge that I'm going to have to make my own stretcher bar frame by just ripping some 2x4s down and tacking them together and just do it that way. Because there ain't no way I can find a frame this big. My drafting table right now is 3 feet tall and 4 feet wide. It is very challenging. I've got 238 colors, and it's very challenging. Hi, Tijuana, Mama. Sorry, I've only had one cup of coffee today. And I last night I had to sleep on the couch because, as I said in the whipping chat, I haven't uploaded yet, but my AC heater, the sorry, I'm out of the frame right now. I'm having to hunt for a color. It actually, I think this is it. It actually, when I can turn it on, but then the breaker will trip immediately and it's hot. And so I was like, I really don't want to burn my house down. And the AC guys already charged me $100 just to come out and tell me that the breaker was weak and he would have to order it. So I'm in like, and of course we had that 3-inch snow freezing thing last night. So it got down in the 50s in my house last night. So I was like on the couch with multiple blankets because I have an electric fireplace. Hey, Jenny. But yeah, it was like so fun. It was like camping in your living room. When I got up yesterday, it was 47 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. It was a little windy, but that's about it. And by 2 o'clock, it's totally overcast and we got 3 inches of snow. So Arkansas weather has gone blooming crazy. It did it bad enough to where my poor daffodils are probably frozen and dead. I'll go out there and they'll be just like bleh. It was like, and they were so pretty. Hi, everyone. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling because this is the only one I'm going to work on. I'm not going to start anything new. I'll go ahead and do a post review video of Melody in Pink, and I'm going to go ahead and get her on this canvas. And then, as far as diamond painting, the only one I'm going to drop diamonds on will be this one. So I figure I should get the owl monkey thing done. It's crazy. It looks like an owl, right? You look up there and you see owl wings, but when it's got the head is a monkey head, and he's blowing a trumpet. Don't know. I think she was on drugs when she did this one. Ooh, that's cool. I'm gonna post these in since they got so many J walls they're carrying. I figured I'd just post these over there in the group as I make progress. Because, but they are very challenging. But at least I'm on her face now. I'm done with the planet. Now I'm in the Aurora Borealis and the face. And Rose and Jenny, if y'all ever need someone as a tester just to do a quick canvas, let me know. I'm always up for it because I'm quick. I am quick. I mean, I got 9 storage containers over there I've got to kit down because I just been throwing them on the table. So I got tons of them over there. This is so fun. It's like drop one diamond, pick it up. Drop one diamond, pick it up. It's just a couple colors. You got it worked out now? I'm kind of dreading to see that list because I know there's going to be a lot in there. It's going to go on my wish list. And when I actually start getting some kind of money, I can start getting them. Because, yeah, I am a J Wall fanatic. I've done her. Used to do her puzzles and then glue them. And I don't know. When I moved, they disappeared. So I don't know where those got off to. And my daughter has seen the one I'm doing here as a calendar. but that's been it so far. But I may end up getting titanium Uberon again because it just breaks my heart with the one I got because all the stuff in the periphery is gone. All basically it's just them. But like the flying Pegasus and all the stuff on the left hand side, all cropped and cut. It was just like when I saw what it was really supposed to look like, I felt like crying. It's like, oh my God, why'd they do that? I mean, yes, they are massive, but why'd they do that? Like this one, I have told my children, I don't care who keeps it. Yeah, I cried because I mean, I got it up on my wall and I cried because they cut so much out of it. I wish it was like, what's that? It turns out it's like the wing of a Pegasus, but you don't know it's a Pegasus because it's just the wing. You're like, oh, they do landscapes. I don't know how much they cut out of them though. They just turned the picture sideways. But yeah, it broke my heart. That was one of the heartbreaking moments because I spent a long time doing that one. Because it's confetti, and now I've done it, but most of it's. I was wondering why I couldn't figure out what the picture was, and now I know. I'm impressed with myself. I mean, I have actually only had one boo boo, and I'm 568 with this sitting. Last night I did 2,000, but I'm almost at 34%. It's it's a long, slow go. I know. It makes me wonder how much they cropped out of Secret Garden because I got Secret Garden, and it makes me just sick to wonder how much is missing out of that. Because I've got that one, and I got a couple others that I didn't even know were hers. Yeah, I probably won't be again because it's like I'm not spending that kind of money and then half the picture be missing. It's sickening. It's make me cry. I hope that she's not too badly cropped. I mean, I hope that she's not too badly cropped. Lately, I haven't really liked a whole lot of what they've been releasing, though. There was like one the other day that I would like, but of course, I'm on such a strict no buy just because I have nothing to buy with. This month, I had to borrow money from my dad because my long term kicks in this month. Thank God. Because I finally got to the end of my savings account. I think I got $10, $11 in there now. So it was like, yeah, I'm on a one heck of a no buy. Wow, that's impressive. I did when I first started buying, I bought off Wish. So yeah, a lot of mine are off Wish, and I didn't know what was licensed, what wasn't. So I imagine a lot of back there. I have to really be careful what I bring out to show on the channel because I don't know. I imagine some of it's um, probably not been licensed. But so I don't buy from them no more. But I had bought a crap load, and then AliExpress, I did the same thing. And I mean, I didn't know an artist from an artist and didn't realize that there was such thing about not legally licensed. So I imagine there's some in there too. So I kind of look real close, and those I don't show on my channel, I go ahead and work them because I didn't buy them not to work them. And since they're only going to be at my house or one of my family's house, you know, it's like, oh well. But I don't buy from them anymore unless I know it's something I've had them do a custom for me, or it's something that's a stock image. And I'll go check and make sure it is. But like this last one, this one of the kids bought, it had cornstarch on the drills. I don't know what was with that, but it was really hard to paint with it because it would wipe out your glue dot quickly. Hi, Tinker. I mean, your glue dot was just trashed. So it's like, bleh. Oh, and just let y'all know, I'm at 75 subscribers finally, and when I hit 100, I'll do my first giveaway. So when I hit 100, I'll do my first giveaway. And if it's a girl who wins, I'll give you what I'm going to give away. And I'll actually throw in some color street nails. You'll just have to let me know what color you like, because it's kind of important. I wouldn't want to send you a color that you don't like, because then you're not going to do anything with it. Okay, there, finally. Wish you could sub twice. I know. It's like they make it so hard. I mean, slowly, I guess I'm getting out there in the algorithm, because people I don't even know who they are, you know, getting in there. So I guess they're starting to push me a little bit. It's just the long, slow, steady crawl and climb to the top. And then when you get sick and you're down for a few weeks, it's like my algorithm just went to, or my analytics went to crap. I mean, I'm talking bad. I was up there, and then all of a sudden it's like poof. Yeah, it was weird. I sit there and I was at 75 the other day, and then I went down to like 73, and then now I'm back up to 75. So I don't know who left, who came, who did what. It's like crazy. And it's like, oh well, I'm not going to sit here and dwell on it. It'll drive me insane. So I just keep chugging along. Chug, chug, chug. I did go look at getting a post office box. Bye, Rose. I will see you later. But I went and checked on a rose, on a not rose, but a post office box, and when they told me it was going to be like $50, $60 for 6 months, and they went, I was just like, oh, yep, that's on my price range right now. So if anyone wants to send anything, just contact me on my email, and I will just give you my address via email. It's just like, oh, because I definitely couldn't come up with that right now. Went and bought a couple more stretched canvases. That was $16 I really didn't have, but at least I can get a couple of paintings up. That's true, Jenny. You can just send. You know where my address is. And I mean, it's just when you live as far out as I do, It's just you get kind of. And I got a creepy guy that lives down the road from me. He freaks me out enough. He actually showed up in the middle of the night one night, really late, knocking on my door, and I thought my dog was going to eat him. And so he hadn't come and done that again, thank goodness. But it's still really creepy when they do that. I mean, it was like, who are you and why are you at my door, at midnight? Oh, I hate these double-sided tapes. 105 for 6 months? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh. Yeah, baby cakes. Where do you live? It was like, Lord, that's rough. Okay, let me see what we're saying. Oh, I don't know who they are. It's like you go on and it's like they subbed you, during a chat or something, and then they unsub you just, because they don't want to look bad or something while they're in there, and then they just poof, gone. And I've gotten to where I just don't let it bother me because otherwise I'd probably go insane. Because I just decided that I would just do me, and if people like me and want to hang out, that's great. And if they don't, oh well, but I'm not gonna cuss like a sailor to get people in here or trash someone's page or bully someone or, you know, because this is meant to be fun. It's meant to be enjoyable. So it's just like because I love diamond painting, and that's how I knew I was really sick because I didn't diamond paint for almost 3 weeks. It was just I just couldn't. I think what I had was the stomach flu, and oh my God, bad. And then of course you get where you don't take your meds for almost a week, and then that is really a bad thing because your whole psyche is off balance then, and it takes a little bit to balance it back out. Because I was back to where I'd come out, look around, and go, nope, don't want to be out here, and then just go right back to my bed and go to sleep. Wow. Okay, so my $50 or 60 or whatever it is ain't too bad, but I just don't have it right now. And then of course I was all the way in town, and so I'd have to probably go over to the one that closes like at nothing because I don't want to have to drive all the way in town the way gas is right now. And I know it's nothing like what it is in California. Actually, I wouldn't mind Russians. Gas price. I was watching a video come up was what the price of gas right now in Russia is, and it come out to be for like the mid grade was $2 a gallon. I was like, Lord, I could handle that. Ours is never $2 a gallon. Or it hadn't been in a long time. That was an interesting little video though, because it was like 43 cents a liter. Then they were saying this many liters is this much in gallons, and so it's pretty interesting. Yeah, they were paying 43 cents a liter. And I was like, wow. I stood in the freezing cold and got gas yesterday because I was like, if I don't, it's just going to go up and then it's going to be bad. So I might as well just get it now because I probably won't drive my car again until I have to go babysit the littles Wednesday. 315 a liter? Oh my Lord. I can't even imagine that. I mean, dang. I just can't even. Yeah, I told my son, I was like, you might want to start stocking up on food the way your kids eat. Just make you a little stockpile. He's got a 15-year-old and a 7-year-old, and they eat like there's no tomorrow. And like it just, grows in the cabinet. It's like, look at the cabinet and go, ah, cookies. And they're just there. Oh my God. I am sorry for y'all. Well, the good news, guys, is when I went to my appointment at the VA, and they were doing their little questioning thing, and they have decided after meeting with me that I should have had counseling just for the fact that, I died. And then after, my mom's death and my death right back to back. And so they are like, yeah, you should have had counseling then to help you deal. And you've had all this other stuff. They were like, we will get you set up with a therapist. And I was like, oh, thank God. Because you're broke. You just don't know how to fix it. $6 a gallon. Well, we haven't made that yet, but we're on our way. And I live 17 miles from the nearest town. So it's like, that kind of sucks. And I told my dad, I was like, we just need to make a little list and just do everything all at once. And that way it's just like, okay, we got all our stuff. We don't have to go nowhere. But yeah, that's unreal. That's like crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah, the math kind of. Yeah, we might be at horse and carriage here soon. Oh, at least the horse would eat my grass so I wouldn't have to mow. Which, of course, I can't mow anyway because that would be too rough on my abdomen. So just let the horse loose. Because right now, my brother does it like once every 6 months. And it's like, okay, but he charges me. He won't do nothing for free. No freebies. I'm just hoping that he don't get laid off again because he works for an oil company, and the last time it did crazy stuff like this, he got laid off. Yeah, I don't think I could walk 17 miles and get anywhere in a good amount of time. I might get there by tomorrow. I did watch this guy and his daughter were actually riding a bicycle out of town out this way. And I don't know how they made it up that hill because it's a lot of hills. And I was just like, oh my God, I would have died because it was like straight uphill. So it was like, yeah, I'll just make my list and do it all at once. Because otherwise it's not going to happen. Yeah, I was wondering about that. I'm just lucky I have my own little diamond factory in my room in there. I mean, I literally have 300 and something paintings. So I have my own little hub. It's just I like the new pictures. I want the new ones. I want the new stuff. My doctor called it self-soothing. I was like, okay, I can get down with that. My new doctor just looked at me like I was insane, which she probably thinks that. And so they did tell me that they would have me see a mental health assessment person and they will talk with me and decide whether or not I need to see a psychiatrist to get meds adjusted, um, or anything like that. Yeah, Jenny, I feel for you. And I can't even on my end find where I ordered it. I know I ordered it, so I have the number for the order, but I haven't got tracking numbers yet. And I don't know why it's not showing up in mine. I can't even find it. Me and computer technology is like, I hate it. I love it, but I hate it. And like my doctor was telling me, I'm going to have to, she goes, and it's really hard to get in there, but you'll be able to talk to me exactly. And I was like, ah. Yeah, I'm praying that our stuff doesn't go even worse. But the poor truck drivers over here are paying over $1,000 trying to fill their trucks up. So it's like, oh Lord, that's not good. Because if they're paying 1,000 just to get gas to take it somewhere, someone's going to pay for the adjustment. Okay, okay, I know which one that one is. Probably the bad day at the office. All right, and I'm glad they fixed the printing issue then because it was probably where you couldn't read it, and I would have had to redo it. So I just as well do it up at this end. And then I got to find out what color those skeletons are. Hi, chaotic. Because the skeletons I'm gonna put in glow in the dark, and they look greenish, a greenish hue. So I don't know what number they are, so I can order the glow in the darks in that number. Because I don't think they're white, but they look green. And then I've still been thinking on how to change that, put a drink on that arm of that chair. And I think since there's so much green in that picture, I'll probably make it a green, like a Midori drink or something. I'll put a couple of like frosted in there and then a couple of greens. Use that as it. Yeah, I sit there and I actually went over and watched that poor little man get get just killed over there last night by all of Mrs. Coffee's cohorts. It was just like, oh, poor little fella. But that was pretty funny. Because he just didn't know what to think about. He's like, where are all these women coming from? That's what he had to be thinking. That one's there. That one's there. That one's there. That's there. No, I'm off by one, and I can't figure out where. Oh, okay. So, one, one, one. Okay, so that one and that one. Mhm. This one goes over one. There we go. Nope, that's not it. That one goes over one. One, two, three. Oh, okay. I think I figured it out. And that one goes over here. And this one goes over here. There, sorry. Sorry, guys. I fixed it. it's, it's like, oh my God. It is so hard when there's no pictures. And yeah, the pre-printed that you can get from Heaven and Earth, and you can get them printed by Crown Jewels. Those are going to be so much easier because these blank ones. It's just like if your count gets off somewhere or you drop a diamond in the one wrong place, it'll take you forever to figure out where it is. And the only difference is between this and stitching, I don't have to frog it. I just slide them around. And yes, I can make this double-sided tape break loose and then slide it around. It's rough, but I can make it do it. But oh man, that face is, oh guys, it's gorgeous. It's really, it's amazing. Because when you're actually working on it, you don't see it until you step back and look. And then it's like, oh wow. Hi Sarah. And it's like it's an oh wow moment. It is. Oh God, that's gorgeous. I'll post it on the Rose's site so that everyone can see it. But it is oh phenomenal. Phenomenal. I mean the confetti, yeah, the confetti is rough, but what the confetti does for your picture is absolutely amazing. That's the only reason I really like confetti heavy pictures. They don't look so pixelated and they're gorgeous. And the detail is phenomenal, even though the heartache and the headache is too, but it's worth it. It is absolutely so worth it because it is gorgeous. The blending in this face is just unreal. Okay. There, there, there. And I mean, it's just like dropping one, two, one, two, one, one, two. There we go. Which is why I love J Walls. But And I can see myself doing another titanium and Uberan just because the part of the painting that I love the most is the part that was cut out. And I could tell there was something missing, but I just didn't know what it was. And like the few images, like I've seen this one on Alley. No, I didn't buy it there, but I've seen it there. But they've cut it so much. I mean, you could tell they cropped it because otherwise it would be a monster like this one is. And so you can tell once you've seen the full painting of what it should look like and then what they show you, you can tell the difference. I started diamond painting, let's see, right about the time COVID hit over here, which was what, in 2019, into 2019? Because it's already done. It's on my wall. I'd have to, well, I guess I could try to sell it as a framed one because it's on my wall. It's just, I mean, it's actually done. If it wasn't done, I would sell it, but it's done and framed and up on the wall. I mean, I could knock out a 70 by 80 in like 2 weeks. Except on this one, because of course, no, it's got like, I don't know how many 30 by 40s and they're all blank. And yeah. Okay. Last week of March, huh? Yeah. I go in here and I look and it's just like, oh my God. Thank God for Sezzle. Only good thing is whenever, oh, it's no problem, Trina. It's just, I don't know, it would be someone that would have to want to buy, one that's completed already. And a lot of people don't. They want to actually do it. Like this one here is taking me the most time to do. And actually, I've gotten faster at it if I sit down and actually work on it. When I first started working on it, it was so hard. But now it's not too bad. And the funny thing is I don't even like the horoscope that's mine. That's one that just didn't interest me. But there's a couple others that I really like that I'll probably end up getting. Well, I guess Gemini will work on the new horoscope, the NASA one. Because according to the NASA one, I'm a Gemini. So I'm a Gemini cross. Yeah. I'm a Gemini Cancer. With one, I'm a Gemini, the other one, I'm a Cancer. And actually, some of both actually fit me. So it's like, okay, I guess I could be. Oh, I leave it as a Cancer. Because I don't know which one's more accurate. I don't know why, something that was done just now as a science, a space science would change the pagany side, you know? Just don't know. Might change it for the picture though, because I don't like that crab thing. It's like, oh, yuck. I like the Aquarius. I like the Leo. Gemini is pretty. But I just really wasn't into the crabby one. That's what I'm saying. It was like, why? How's NASA know that? They also said Pluto's not a planet. As far as like when I grew up, Pluto was a planet. Now Pluto, I don't know what Pluto is. I think they're just nuts. When that first came out, I was just like, say what? Like, no. I only got so much of the face, and then I'll be back in blue again. Could be a song. 38:59. Where is that? I think it's over here. What I did is I got the two big, the suitcasey ones with the little bitty jars. There you go. Little bitty jars and the big jars. See how little's in there? I might have 238 colors, but some of them don't have a lot of color. I got one that I got 10 left to go on this painting somewhere. And I think they're going to be over in the monkey face. And it's so weird to say monkey face. It's got the body of an owl and the face of a monkey, and it's blowing a horn. But I love her style for Josephine Wall because it's so flowy and ethereal. And that's the part I like. And the part I don't like about what the Diamond Art Club does to them is it gives them all those straight lines and takes away that flowy, ethereal look to them. Like if you look at their Spirit of Flight, it's very straight lined and it loses a lot of the, if you see the original painting, it loses a lot of that ethereal look to it, the flowy, watercolory, it's got straight lines and harsh lines, and I just don't like that. This one is Once in a Blue Moon, which I have not seen on any site, truthfully. I've seen it on AliExpress, but it's chopped all to hell. And of course, I wouldn't buy it there anyway. But I haven't seen it on any site. But it's it would have to be large because it's very detailed. I mean, it's got, okay, you got the planet with all its craters, and then you got this big wolf that I got over here, and then there's a little wolf down inside the big wolf. And then you get to her face, and she's got a castle above her eye for her eyeshadow, and she's got a castle on her head, and a gazebo, and looks like a Ferris wheel. Then you get over there to the owl that's got a monkey face, and all of her wings, which have all of her normal faces in them. I've got where you can see 2 or 3 of the faces in them. And then it goes down to where you start getting into like a rocky crag kind of thing with a waterfall coming off of it. Then you got the fairy king and the fairy queen at the bottom. And then you come in over here and you got more planets and the moths and the butterflies. It's like, oh, good God. And if you think about this, I started this over a year ago. So it was like, okay, we're new to this and we're going to go big or go home. Yeah. And if you can get one from a company with all the detail and all this, and even if you pay 100, 150, let me tell you, that is a good price. That is a good price because I paid $320 for this painting. $320 is what I paid for this. So yeah, it's expensive. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, one down. There we go. So yeah, I paid a pretty penny for this. It was $320 totally. I know, and it was like, and if you looked at her other one that she did, the picture was so much more pretty, and it didn't have the straight lines, and I mean, it was so different. It was, yeah, yeah. If you get too honest with them, you'll get booted. You get the boot. I mean, if the artist makes them where they have that flowy, ethereal feel to them, and then you take away all that flowy, ethereal feel and make it so blocked and stuff, it just takes away from it. I mean, it just took so much, isn't it though? I mean, Jenny, it is a beautiful painting. See what I mean about the monkey face? It's a monkey. So it's like if you can find someone that doesn't tear up the original artwork, it is so much better. It's you like that artist for their artwork, for their style, and then you lose all that. It's just like, eh. It just takes away from it. Like my little jellies that I added to Melody, I only put those in the wisteria tree so that it wouldn't affect anything. Oh yeah, I mean, because yours would be probably half the size of this monster, but it is a gorgeous picture. It is a beautiful picture. And I mean, you should be able to, because I literally have not seen it anywhere else other than in Heaven and Earth Design. And then, of course, I had to do the conversion. I had to find someone to get a custom canvas to or from because it was so big. Then I had to try to get the drills. And like I'm saying, if you can get this one, even if you spend a couple $100, I paid $320 altogether. I mean, just the drills alone were about $170. It was like, yeah. Ugh. And then, of course, I found out that they gave me the wrong. I went back and forth with them a couple times, and then finally said I just get them myself. And so I've been having to, piecemeal some to fix it. And I'm hoping I've got enough squares done that I can don't have to buy any more. Oh, you do? Yeah. Oh, yeah. When I started this over a year ago, no one was doing that. You had to figure all your calculations out, and then you had to go find all your drills. I did it the hard way. I did it. I did it so hard, so hard. Was a challenge. I learned a lot. Well, good. Now on, if I find one that I really like, and it's not where you can get the pre-done canvas, I just say, hey Jenny, And I can guarantee I'd probably get all the drills I'm supposed to, because I did this as a max color and I was sent a mini color of the drills, even though she quoted me for max color. And I don't know who she had doing my order, but they'd send it back and it'd be the same exact thing. And I was like, no, you're not getting this. And so I finally sent her a list. But there's some that I needed that you have to go in and find the conversion for. Because it goes from 1 to, what is it, 1 to 32? And those are other. You've been doing them for 3 years? Well, see, I hadn't even heard of y'all until I started watching Grace, which was a year ago. I didn't even know there was such a company. So it was like, Because if I had known, I would have. Because doing it piecemeal like I did, I know it cost me a whole lot more than it should have. It was like trial by fire. And then the first page took me forever because I had just started and I hadn't cross stitched in forever. And so it was like learning how to do it all over again. Over here. So that's it. Yeah. Oh, that's the one that's got two different colors in it. And I can tell that some of those were mine and some of those were theirs because I got light ones and dark ones. And as long as I'm in her face, I'm trying just to use all the darker colored ones so that it stays similar. But it's got really light ones and it's got darker ones because it's two different dye lots. Just like for the diamond painting storage, it's Flossom something on Etsy, and she'll make you the boxes. And she's got all the cards cut, and she's got all the labels done, and you just get them and put them. And she's got the baggies in there, and you just put it together. Oh no, not me! I did it the hard way. I spent forever with a little cutter and trimmer and what you call a thing and this thing, and yeah. And I was at my daughter's house the night when I found 4 kids at 127. 127? I think she's Admore's S now. But I had found her and was like watching her at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it was like, oh, I'm gonna do that. And actually, I just need to kind of do like she did and revamp it and split them up because I have found it a couple of times. I put my squares in my rounds, and so it's like I know I've accidentally put my squares in my rounds and my rounds in my something else. So it's like, yeah, I really need to split the boxes up so that they're not in the same box. And I'll just have to cut cards again. Just do the card cutting part. Yeah, Jenny, I figured something had happened because, you process that right after the New Year was their Chinese New Year's or Lunar New Year's or whatever it is was over. And I knew then that it should have been here or about here, so I knew something had to have happened. That's okay, because I really need to work on this one. Yeah, because when I first started watching, Diamond Painters, it was always Rachel Ray and Mrs. Marchand Coffee, and they were very that biased. I mean, it was like, unless it was a dad, they really did some damage to them. So it was like, yeah, they're very biased. And they're very, I don't know. When I had asked them about becoming a affiliate for them, instead of, at least responding to me and saying, you know, we'd like to wait until you're a little more established or something. I didn't get nothing. It just says your thing is pending, and it's been pending for 3 months. I mean, it's like, you could at least just say, sorry, at this time you're not well enough established for us or something. It's like, okay, I would have bought that, because back then I only had two subscribers. So, it's at least talk to the people. I sent them another email and they didn't even answer that one. That one was just left out there high and dry. So it's like, okay. And now what I've got to doing is just I put my link tree in my description box. Because let me tell you, I think the first person I saw use a link tree was Jeremy. That thing is awesome. Because that's got every link to everything in there. Yep. Because I was like, they could have been, I could have been affiliate with them and, people grow. But no, they didn't talk to me. They didn't nothing. They said, your application is pending and it's been pending for months. Yeah, I'm supposed to be doing that challenge with Diamond Nana. I think that's what she changed her name to, is Diamond Nana. But it's a 7-day upload challenge. And so I've got to get 7 videos done that I won't put up until till then. So I got to get that. And then got a few others I need to do. So true. So true. And I love y'all. You're so fun to hang with. Basically, even when I was sicker than a dog, I just had y'all in the background. So 18, 17, 15. There you go. Yeah, I don't even think I have one bottle empty yet. I think the lowest that has 6 colors left in one of them. Which one is it? Where are you? 10. I think this one I have 6 colors left I need to drop on the canvas. It's like, oh my goodness, my poor dogs. When they came in last night, because my dad's dog was outside and it was shaking and freezing in the snow. And I don't know why it followed me over to my house. So I just let her in. And then I let my dogs in because I'd been gone to the doctor's office. And they was like, they went and sniffed her and they know her scent, because they always hang out at my dad's house too. But they were like, Mom, what you bring a new one home for? At least they didn't pack up their bags and leave. Last time when I brought a new one home, I think they were ready to pack up their bags and leave. But they all jumped on top of me on the couch and was like, this is our mom. She's not your mom. Go away. And they would just look at her like, go away. You're in our house, but you go away from my mom. They're such jealous little things. Yeah, that was my good deed for the year. I think it was last year. No, because she died last year. Yeah, she died last year. And I had her for about a year. So about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I'm driving home from work and I missed my exit. So I thought, well, I'll just go on down to the next exit. And when I got off at the next exit, there was this little dog sitting right there in the V of the exit. And it was covered in mud and just dumped there. They left it. And it's like in between the exit and the off ramp. And it was like, when I get up there to it, it's got this big tumor on its neck that exploded. And it's dripping icky, nastiness everywhere. So I brought it home, cleaned it up, and then left it in the cage for the day because I had to work. And then the next day I took it to the doctor. And after the doctor sat there and calmly tried to tell me that I know what kind of dog that was, people wouldn't ditch it. And I said, well, when you take off that diaper, you'll see why they probably ditched it. And he come back in about 2 minutes and went, I think you're right. And at first he tried to tell me it was going to be a couple $1,000s. And I was like, well, I'm sorry, I found this dog on the side of the road. I am not willing to put a couple $1,000s into it. And so he finally was like, it went from a couple $1,000s down to 400, like 390. I mean, so it went from 4,000, couple thousand to 390. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll spend 390 on it. I'll just keep it. And she actually lived for a year. And it was a 2.5 pound tumor that he took off of her neck. But my dogs, I swear, if he could have packed their doggy bags up and left, they would have. They were so mad at me. I mean, they would just give me this look of like, what do you think you're doing bringing another dog into our house? I mean, it was comical. And I mean, and she was so fat and so ugly that she was cute. She was a full-blooded English bulldog and weighed, I mean, at the top of their level. Hi, Christopher. But she was like at the top of her 50 pounds, and her legs were all 3 feet long, or not 3 feet, about they were probably like 6 inches long, her feet. She looked like a little hippo running across the ground. And I mean, her nose was like right here. It was smashed all the way back in her forehead. I was just like, oh. And this friend of mine was like, well, what'd you get her for? And I said, because someone dumped her. Didn't want her to die. I said, and he goes, well, she's fat. She's ugly. She is. I said, well, you're fat and ugly too. You want me to quit talking to you? I was like, geez. If you're going to be that way. And like I said, she lived. I had her for right at a year. But that was my good deed for the time because that was one expensive little picture up on the side of the road. Oh, you're taking holidays. Are you going to go somewhere for your holiday, Jenny? That sounds like fun, like a fun day. One of these days, I'm going to play with all the little settings on this um, StreamYard because it's got a banners and it's got a brands. I'll see what I can do about doing those. I'm getting a little braver now. It didn't take forever to get in here. I didn't have to have Christopher telling me, don't touch anything. No touchy. Ah, you doing a staycay, a staycation. That's how I always did mine, staycations. I take the time off and I didn't go anywhere, just took downtime. Staycays are the best stays because then you don't wipe yourself out. I think I like this part of doing this painting the best. You know, her face, because you can just sit there and watch it evolve. And like I was serious whenever I said when I said that I didn't realize I had done that castle above her ear, that I had done an ear. I was just like, whoa, I did her ear. Because I had no clue till I backed away from it. Because when you're that close, you can't really tell what you're doing. You're just dropping drills. You just drop drills and keep on going. Okay. One more, and then I got that color done. I believe I've been on here for an hour and 13 already. I was actually up. Yeah, it does. I mean, I was like, I didn't even realize. And then I sit back and I look and it's like, oh, wow. But when I'm up close to it, it's can't really tell. 38, where would that be? I think it's up here. Is that it? Yep. But anyone who's done J-Wall, they know what these are like. These are just, think of your J-Wall with no pattern to follow except on a tablet. And this one, for to get the whole thing in the picture, I actually got to stand behind my love seat. Because if I just stand here, I still can't get the whole thing in. It does look a jumbled up mess, but you're right. He's 721. Oh, yeah. My cat's down there. I mean, it's yeah. I have to stand way back there just to get the whole thing. Like the pictures that I post on the site, small. Those are taken behind my love seat, about 5 feet back, just so I can get the whole thing in. You know, it had to be bad for my dad to come over here and say, yeah, you need to have a bigger board. And that's why he went and got this board that's, I think it's 37 because he added an inch lip to it. 37 tall and 48 wide so that the corners wouldn't be hanging off because otherwise they'd be hanging off. And he was like, yeah, that can't be good for it. And I'm like, no, it really isn't. So I really enjoy not having my corners hanging off. Because otherwise my corners would be just hanging off of the drill table. And it's really hilarious, guys, because when I try to work at top level up there, I finally got to where I don't have to work up there no more. But when I was having to work up there and finish it, I would have to stack 4 or 5 pillows and then sit on the pillows like Princess and the Pea just to reach it. I am so glad that my arms quit hurting so bad from those shots yesterday. Last night, if I turned over, it was just like, oh Lord. And I was like, oh, don't let it be like the other ones. But the headache's gone now, and the soreness is gone now. So I guess it went away. And I have been trying to get that shingles vaccine for the last 5, 6 years. And the doctor would order it, but the pharmacy wouldn't pay for it. So you have to pay for that one yourself, and it's $400 a shot. But I definitely don't want shingles. And since I was a prime candidate for it, because if you've had chicken pox as a child, even though you're over the chicken pox, the virus actually goes into your spinal column, and when you get your mid later, mid-50s later in lifetime, it can actually come out, and when it does, it goes to shingles. That's how you get the shingles on your nerve fibers and stuff that run around your dermatomes. And after seeing shingles on some patients in my mom, I don't want that stuff. I really don't. I was like, have vaccines. My doctor told me, he said, I've had them. You don't want them. He said, just take the vaccine. And I sat there in the chair. That's the first thing they asked me. Like shingles vaccine. And I was like, oh, Lord, yes. But I sure didn't want to pop out with them suckers. They take forever to go away. They're really, really painful. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I had them. And my son actually had them twice because he got them the first time but didn't get a bad enough case of them. So that when he got them the second time, he actually had them in his throat. He had, oh, they were bad. I think I have 2 scars when I had it. One's in my eyebrow, so I got one spot in the eyebrow that doesn't grow hair, which is really weird, but one spot that just won't grow hair. So if you were exposed to them, you'd end up catching the chicken pox. But for people who have had chicken pox, we just ended up getting the shingles. And of course, I was nursing at the time and had patients with shingles, and I was just praying to God that I wouldn't catch it. Insurance companies, yeah, they are awful. My mom had them, and I told her I had her. She was like, I got this really bad rash, and it really, really hurts, and all this stuff. And I was like, let me see. And I looked at her and I said, Mom, that is not a rash. That is shingles. I said, that's running along one of your dermatomes. And which a dermatome is your the way your nerves track. They'll track like on your off your spine and just kind of do a like layers. And she had it in her stomach and it was in a layer. And I said, no, that's a shingles outbreak. And she, talked to her doctor and he's like, oh no, that's just your belt. I was like, Mom, you don't even use a belt. What your doctor's quack. So I ended up finally getting her to fire that doctor and get another doctor who told her, yeah, that is shingles. And she had to take like valcyclovir for a month to get it gone. But it's like, oh Lord, always have to fire her doctors. And just so you know, if your doctor ain't doing what you think is right, you fire their butts. You can fire them. Get one that actually listens to you. I'm glad that my new one, I just met her the other day, listens to you. And she was awesome. And I think I only had one medicine that the VA doesn't carry. And she said, I'll just put a sister drug there. And I said, thank you. I said, that's fine with me, as long as I have something. And then there was one that she was like, I don't know, we might have problems with this one. She goes, but do you have irritable bowel? And I was like, well, I have this. She goes, no, do you have irritable bowel? And I was like, yes. And she said, right answer. Because she said, once I write that in your chart, they won't kick it out. And I was like, oh, okay, that works. So she was willing to work with me to try to make sure I got put on the same medications that I was on. Which was really good. And I've actually seen someone that had shingles in their eye and all across their head. And it's like, yeah, you never know where it's going to pop its nasty little head. But oh, my arm was so sore last night. I roll over and she put both shots in the same arm. So I got my tetanus and that in the same arm. And she's one of those ladies that just kind of slowly pushed the medicine in. It was like, here, I just go, put the needle there and then push and then slowly inject it. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm dying. You're killing me. Just do it. I used to work for an Indian doctor, and he explained it so well. And that's how I found out that it actually sits in your nerves tract. Once you've had it once, it just sits there and just waits till the opportune time to come out. And he's like, if you've had chicken pox, it's there. He said, so unless you get the vaccine for that, it'll come out. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to get the vaccine for that then. And that one is a vaccine. If you sit there and it's two doses, 2 months apart. But once you get that, then you're pretty much covered. And It's not one of those where you have to keep getting it. And it's actually a real vaccine. Yeah, what it is shingles is an EDV. You got the herpes simplex. I think it's one is genital area. Two is um, like two is you can be cold sores or the genital area. One is chicken pox, and then shingles. Usually, shingles is after you're in your mid 50s. Chicken pox, anytime you get exposed to someone. But basically, they're all in the EDV family, and they're mean, nasty little critters. Like everyone who says, "Oh, you got herpes and it's genital," well, if you got cold sores, you've got herpes. It's just a different area of it. And shingles is like cold sores because that's a form of it. And if you're stressed out, what happens? You get a cold sore. And so if you're stressed out and you're of the right age, it'll pop out and you'll get shingles. And I was like, I really don't, I want to miss that little party. Because I've seen people actually get admitted in the hospital because they have them so bad. Yeah, I mean, you can get the vaccine. If you got decent insurance, it'll cover it. But it's everywhere I've worked had just enough crappy insurance that things that were preventative like that, it wouldn't cover. And it's like, well, that's not very good. Just like for me, I've had pneumococcal pneumonia once, which means I'm susceptible to it. But do you think they'll give me a pneumonia vaccine? No. Oh no, I can get it if I pay for it. But insurance wouldn't cover it because I wasn't a certain age. They didn't take into a fact that my doctor wanted me to have it because I had had it already. And so I was susceptible to it. That is, that could be true, because babies are the ones that usually get chicken pox. So like I was saying, my son, he sit there and when he did it the second time, he did it up good. I mean, he had them down his throat, in between his toes, everywhere. There's a lot of things that we catch from kids. Every time my grandkids would come around and I'd catch one of their little cruddy things, it would knock me on my butt. I mean, a little baby adenovirus, they get the sniffles and they feel a little cruddy, it'll knock you as an adult into the next world. I'm telling you. You will My grandson had a little case of pink eye and an adenovirus, and I ended up with like a viral bacterial pink eye, and a virus from hell was off work for a week. And I was so infectious with the pink eye that my doctor stood across the room and just said, "Yeah, I'm sending you to the ophthalmologist. I got you an appointment. Bye." Okay, go away. And I was like, "What? Why are you standing over there?" And he was like, "Man, you are contagious." Oh, and yeah, poor little guy. That was so bad because with down his throat and all, didn't want to eat. And he didn't want anything in his mouth because they blisters were popped out all over in his mouth. And, you know, take him to the hospital, and they're like, "Oh no, nothing, it can't be nothing because he already had it." And I'm like, "Look at him." That's just like when my son had his car wreck, and they didn't X-ray the baby because he was in a car seat, and the baby actually had a broken clavicle. because they brought him home and handed him to me, and I felt his clavicle go crunch crunch, and I was like, "You take him right back, and you tell him that they need to X-ray him." And I went and I had fit on the doorstep because they were trying to charge him again. And I'm like, "No, this is something you didn't do the first time, and this baby's got a broken clavicle." "Well, we didn't do it because he was in a car seat." I said, "Just because it was in a car seat doesn't mean he can't get injured." I mean, it's just like some people don't learn. But then, of course, I just got out of healthcare where some of my coworkers were learning some of their stuff off TikTok. I was like, "What? Say what?" "Yeah, we watch TikTok to learn some of our stuff." I'm just like, "You are freaking Looney Tunes." I mean, watching TikTok to learn how to nurse. I was like, "Yeah, that's nuts." So I don't think that's the way you're supposed to learn. I mean, yeah, a lot of learning is trial by fire. Trial by a lot of fire. I mean, when your whole world goes to crap in a handbasket, you tend to remember that incident. Yeah, I used to never see a doctor except my one time a year to get my refills done, my yearly physical. And then with everything that's been going on, I've been having to see him more often. It's been killing me because that's like I don't want to go see y'all. Just like that colonoscopies. You know how they sit there and tell you have to have one, you have to have one. Well, I just looked at the doctor was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, no. And so she was like, "Oh, okay, we're just going to do the kit then." She goes, "You take that home, you put a little sample in there, you mail it off, and they'll do it that way." So why are you charging a $5,000 thing whenever you can just go poo in a bag? It's like, I was like, "Yeah, I'll do that." Yeah, I was like, "Y'all are just killing me." "Oh, yeah, we learned some of our stuff." I was like, "Oh, what?" It's like, it was beyond me. Beyond me. Because they were totally serious. 38, 56 ago. I mean, they were totally serious. They learned their stuff off of TikTok. And it was like, and then the doctors, I've actually watched doctors go sit there and watch a YouTube to figure out how to operate something. It's just, I was like, really? For real? Blowed my mind. I was like, I don't think y'all would have liked me. Had to go to school back when I went to school. They didn't have a computer. There was no internet. Everything was the hard way. Everything was the hard way. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Our healthcare is crazy. Absolutely insane. And just like with everything that was done to me, I couldn't go after the doctor because I would have to prove that he did it criminally, which how can you prove that if someone did it criminally? That's that you can't prove that. Yeah, he did it and meant to jack me up. And I couldn't even go, for negligence. I couldn't go. And it's all about the way he cut me. Yes, be afraid, be very afraid, and always take a family member with you to actually stand your ground. And I am serious. I mean, yeah, it is very scary. And it was even more scary being a nurse because you knew all the stuff that's really wrong. That's just like when I was hallucinating for 3 days. I wouldn't tell them I was, and it was their fault from some of the stuff they had given me. But I wouldn't tell them that I was hallucinating because I was like, all they're going to do is label me as crazy and then treat me like shit. So it was like I sat there and hallucinated for, oh, 3 solid days, seeing beetly bugs crawling all over the place. It got really bad when they were crawling on me. I was just like, oh my God, I'm going to lose it because I hate bugs. The only thing worse would have been snakes, but yeah, it was not fun. And then they wonder why I got PTSD. And it was so funny because I had worked with some of these people. And so here they are, and they're treating you like crap. And then when I woke up and spoke, and they went, oh my God, it is you. And I'm like, yes, it is me. Because, I dyed my hair and hadn't worked there in quite a few years. So, they were like, yeah, that ain't her. And then when I finally got to where I was awake and could speak, they were like, oh, it is you. And I was like, yes, it is me. And the fact that I had to extubate myself to be able to breathe is just so wrong on so many levels. There's so many levels that's wrong. And like the lawyer told me, he said, you're just lucky you knew that once you got that tube out of there, you might be able to breathe. He said, you might not have, but at least you had knowledge to know that you might be able to. He said, we've had a patient that died because they didn't know if they got that out of there, they might breathe. And then you have the nurse walk in and say, you did that on purpose just to be mean. I just flat looked at her and I said, no, I did that to breathe. Yeah, it was, yeah. I've not liked my profession very much because, they were really bad. Just like them putting me back on the COVID hall for months and sometimes being the only person back there with these patients that are pretty much almost critical. And some of them were. I was doing stuff that should have been done in ICU back there because it was like either that or they're going to die. And I just finally got to where I was like, I've lost my cookies. I'm done. So I started flashing back to being on the ventilator and what happened to me. And that's not a good thing to be. So it was like, yeah. So it's like, and they should never have someone back there, with 5 or 6 patients, all of them on the verge of crapping out. And then you're sitting there leaving someone back there pretty much on their own. I mean, it was pretty much, just on your own back there with 5, 6 patients and flipping them out the ICU as fast as you can find a bed. I caught COVID from a little crazy old man. And yes, he was a little on the fruity side. I mean, he was sweet as could be, but a little on the fruity side. And he had escaped out of his room. We were eating lunch, and so I had my respirator off and my gown off, and we were eating lunch, and I heard him start hollering. So I went to the door to see if I could figure out what he was saying. Well, I didn't figure out what he was saying, but I did figure out that he was trying to escape and was actually heading down the hall in a diaper going, "Hey, Mom, hey, Mom." And he wasn't with his right facilities. And so I had just taken off after him, to get him. And I was like, what is hitting me in the leg? And I looked down and it was my PPE because I had just taken off running thinking, oh my God, he's going to fall. And so I ended up catching it. And that was back in the day of, you don't have COVID unless you have, A, B, C, D, E, F. Well, all I got basically was extreme fatigue, the most horrendous headache for like a week. I mean, that headache is real. I'm telling you, that headache is for real, guys. That headache is awful. I'd never run fevers. If I'm running a fever, it's weird because I don't run fevers. And so since I didn't have a fever and I just had this horrendous headache and extreme exhaustion, I mean, I couldn't even hardly pick up my legs and walk because I was so exhausted. They decided that I didn't have COVID, but I could just work back with COVID people. So I actually worked through my COVID and barely functioned. I mean, it was just like all I could do to walk because I was just that tired. And so, yeah, I did not get as bad as, some of the people that had 105, 106 temp, and it didn't hit my lungs, but I still felt like doo-doo. And yeah, that was awful. And that was like when it first started coming out. And what they had done is put a COVID patient in our senior psych unit. And so all of the senior, we're Looney Tune people, caught COVID. And so we ended up with them all over on our floor. And yeah, that was not fun. Yeah, you get fruity when you've been in there long enough. And now I finally came to the realization that I don't want no more surgeries, so I will just not work. And I hang with y'all and diamond paint. Uh-oh, I don't think I'm going to have enough of that one. It says I'm going to have 58. I hope I got some in spares. Or I'll be having to. Oh, no, that's not 58 of them. That might be 20. I hope I have that color. If not, I'll be having to go to diamond drills. Yeah, whenever my doctor told me that if I went back to work again, because every time I went back to work after getting it repaired, it would fail pretty quick and I'd have to end up having surgery again. So she just told me, she says, you're not going to be able to go back to work because anytime you work, it's going to fail. So it's like, all right, I'm done. And she was like, so happy. Only thing is I couldn't even go after damages for my medical bills because in this crazy state, you only have 2 years. And at the 2-year mark, they were just figuring out what was wrong with me, and the doctor and the lawyer told me, do not go get a lawyer until you're done, because then your doctor will dump you. And he says that's just the honest truth of it. So I was between a rock and a hard spot, getting my abdomen fixed or going after the doctor. So I went for getting fixed. So I wasn't even able to go for damages. Because it's crazy. Yeah, I have a singing clock. It does all kinds of little songs. The clock's like ancient. But it does. It's got some, like the Titanic song. I can't think what it is, but the Titanic song. It's got that on there. It's got It's a Small World. Quite a few of them. I don't even think I want to know what that clock would cost now, because back when I bought it, it was expensive. So I know it would be now. Oh, yay. I'm into multiplace. Yes. 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 You don't know how happy I am when I can multiplace on this thing. That is a yes. Got to have to get off of here so I can cook my dinner. Guess I'm gonna eat. I always forget to eat sometimes. I get into painting and just forget. I know that sounds crazy, but just forget. It's like, oops, I'm supposed to eat. So, guys, I'm going to hop off of here. Yeah, I understand, because, I mean, for years I had the leg thing wrong with me, and I kept trying to tell the doctor, especially after we took care of someone that had the same thing, and I said, I think I have what they had because I have the same problem. And he told me, you can't have what they had. Well, I did have what they had. And then he felt really bad, because he didn't, take me seriously. And then he ended up, you know, dicing into an artery, which I ended up with a $43,000 airplane ride or helicopter ride. And then get to that hospital, and that doctor decides, oh, well, she's not critical because she's not acting a fool. Always act a fool, I'm telling you, act a fool. Because evidently, if you're not acting a fool, they don't believe something's wrong with you. So because I wasn't acting like a fool, nothing was wrong with me, which is a bad way to be. And so he sat on me overnight, which puts me on the table in the morning after having lost most of my blood. And then he ends up poking a hole in my lung, and I lose what's left of my blood, and that's when I died on the table. And that's when he was so freaked out, he just went willy-nilly with the damn knife and cut me in a way that you shouldn't be cut. Every doctor has tried to fix it since then and said, what the hell is he thinking? I said, I don't know. I don't think he was. Anytime anyone mentions his name, I tell him, I don't go to him. Don't go to him. He's lucky. He's lucky that I don't try to put a curse on him, because the only reason I don't do that is because I know that it comes back on you threefold. Otherwise, I would. Because he is one of the few people I think would deserve it. Like, totally. He would deserve it. He actually put in his charting that he didn't close something. And so when I did survive, because I guess he didn't think I was going to, when I did survive, then I end up with the problem of he didn't close it, so then everything keeps falling out. And it took the poor doctors forever to figure out what he had done and what the real problem was. And like my doctor told me this time, she said I couldn't actually fix it the way I would have liked to because there was no tissue because it all flipped over behind your hip bone when you were cut the way you were. So it's like, eh. Yeah, I had baby cakes. I had a lot of anger for quite a while. Quite a while. I was so angry. And all that was just a few weeks, started a few weeks after my mom had passed away in my under my arms. And so I'm so glad that I'm finally to where I'm going to be able to get some therapy to deal with that. Because I mean, I know I didn't kill my mom, but the guilt is still there. Guilt is a crazy, weird thing. And even though you know that you're not the reason and you didn't do it, you still have the guilt. And so, that on top of that, and then, I've lost my career. It was just all just kept going on top of each other. Yeah, the guilt is unreal. And I mean, I know I didn't do it. I know I did not do it. And I know I did everything to try to get her back. But I still have flashbacks of the memory of the sound, the feeling, and all that. So it's just, yeah. And the poor people, because I was brutally honest with this doctor. She was like, "Well, do you feel like hurting yourself?" And I said, "No, because I don't want to put my grandkids through that." And they said, "So you're saying you have a reason not to?" And I said, "Yes, I have a reason not to." I said, "But sometimes I don't enjoy life, but I have a reason not to leave because I don't want my grandkids or my kids to have to go through what I've gone through." Because you end up feeling certain ways and you just can't help it. Yeah, because when you're a healthcare provider, you can't have anything wrong. And they won't let you have anything wrong because if you do, then they won't have anyone to take care of the people. And so it was like, no, no, you don't have a problem. So it was like, yeah. So I'm so glad. I mean, I don't know if they'll end up changing my meds up, because my poor PCP was just digging in his little bag and coming up with something. So I don't know if they'll change the meds up or what, but yeah, something's got to give. I finally just told my poor little PCP I was in there and I was bawling and squalling and not trying to be all tough and, in control and just let it all hang out and told him that I am broken. I know I am broken Something is wrong. I'm broke. And that's what I told the poor man. And he was like, oh my God. He was like, we'll try some of this, try some of that. So I just flat, it was like, I am broken. And it's a horrible feeling, feeling broken. And when you finally hit rock bottom broken, you know you're broken. And I mean, I actually went to my poor daughter. I don't think she knew what to do. Here, her mom's, bawling and squalling in her arms, telling her I'm broken. No, you're not, Mom. You're not broken. But I knew I was. Yeah, and it sucks. You're supposed to put on a nice, smiley, happy face and act like everything's fine when you know it's not, but you don't know how to fix it. That's why when I say a bad day at the office, that is literally how I would feel, how I would look when I would get home from work. Is that look on that poor girl's face and all them skeletons coming at her is how I felt. And the only thing different is when I got home from work, I would have a drink. That's why I'm going to try to make a little green something on her chair. Oh, the boys have come back from their little. I let them go run in the front today so they could go run and be wild. And they've been out there running and being wild all over in the front. Now, when they talk about a painting speaks to you, that painting flat out spoke to me. I showed it to someone. They said, we don't even know how to categorize that one. And I said, that's how a nurse feels when they get home. And they went, oh. And now I'm finding out how hard it is to get help in this country. The only reason I've got what I do have is because I was in the Air Force. And so, because I'm what they call destitute now, I can get veteran health care, which is fine with me. So it must be over there. Must be this one. That one, yeah. Thank you, baby cakes. That's why I started the channel, believe it or not. I mean, I've been watching everybody for years, and I've been at every, in all the lives and everything. But I was in a silver duster, or that's just my name. And then I decided, you know what? I am out here by myself, live out in the country. Miss my dad across the road. No one to talk to, no one to see. And so I thought, I'll just make lots of friends. And so I became a creator. I'm having to learn the stupid computer part because ain't nothing easy about these computers. I mean, these computers are not easy. Well, thank you. I can honestly tell you that if I was not a hard fighter, I would not be here. Because supposedly, according to my best friend, who was my nurse, that I'd asked her to be my nurse, she told me, she said, you knew the minute it happened. You looked at me and said, something is not right, something is wrong, something is very wrong. She goes, you knew immediately. And she goes, and then you're arguing with someone, and Dr. Prayaga wanted to know who you were talking, who were you talking to, and you proceeded to tell me you were talking to the person that was standing next to me that was all dressed in white. She goes, I had you describe him to me, and you said that he had long hair, and I asked what he was saying, and you said he was telling you you were supposed to go with him. And she goes, oh, I bet it has been. I just come up with this one today. I was like, hey, I'll try this. But yeah, so I sit there and I literally argued with evidently whoever was there supposed to take me wherever. And so my friend that was there with the equipment said she had coils in the trunk, which is what you need to shut the bleed down. And I've actually been told that if she was not there, I would not have lived. The only reason she was there is because I had asked her to be there. And she was like 8 months pregnant and running as fast as she could, holding her big old belly to go out to her trunk and get the micro wire and the coils that were required to shut the bleed down, because I was literally bleeding out on the table. And so once the doctor got the coil in, he told the nurse to ask me what the guy was saying now. And I said that he had left, but that I thought, I had the feeling that I was supposed to still go. And my friend informed me, she informed me, oh, let's see if I can do this. She informed me that no, I was not supposed to still go, that I was supposed to stay, and that my phone's dying, that I was supposed to stay. And I told her no, I still thought I was supposed to go. And the next morning was when I died. There we go. Poor phone. I actually think my mom sent me back, because my poor dad is sitting there saying, if I lose my daughter after 3 weeks after losing my wife, I'm not going to make it. And the rhythm I had gone into as a nurse, I know I should not have survived. I mean, I know that as a nurse. I was a nurse for 30 years. I've only seen 2 other people come back from that, and they came back, but they did not survive. So, I really think my mom sent me back. All right, I'm trying to figure out. Sorry. Trying to figure out why that is not working. Oh, I see why. Okay. There you go. I was down to 4%. And so I think my mom literally sent me back because, and I have been told that I'm a walking miracle, because I know as a nurse, I should not be here. But I also know that the only reason I am is because I fought like hell. It had nothing to do with the doctors, but I fought like hell to come back. I mean, I was in a coma for a week. I ended up getting 16 units of blood. That's what I ended up getting. So, yeah. It was not the funnest. I have many things still wrong from things that they had done. And I just deal with them. Just deal with them. Oh my goodness, quit doing that. There we go. So I feel for healthcare workers right now. They are really going through it. Well, guys, my phone is at 3%, so it is fixing to die. So I guess I'm going to get off of here. Anyone that does find this, please subscribe, hit likes on the way out. Oh, your poor cousin. Hit the like and the thumbs up on your way out. Um, Helps the algorithm, little the little pesky algorithm. And hit subscribe, and I will see you again. I can believe that because and that's what was so hard. I sent so many patients to ICU, and they would die, every one of them but one. And it's so hard psychologically to know that these people, and I have little patients that remind me of my mom, some remind me of my dad, some that were very young, and you're knowing that when you send them over there, they're probably not getting out of there. It was just very hard. And I was an ICU nurse for 20 years, an ER nurse for 5. So it's not like, I wasn't used to 15 years for ICU and 5 for ER, and then I went to cath lab. So it wasn't like I didn't know what was coming, but that many of them at a time. These poor nurses that are out there, they will have PTSD and their psych issues for a while. I mean, yeah. COVID, this last COVID, what was it? The last one that was just out, the Omicron. I thought in Queen 2020, Omicron is the only one that didn't scare me really bad. The first one was kind of bad. Delta was terrifying, and Omicron just made you sick. But yeah, it is bad. Well, guys, I will try to pop on here live tomorrow. It'll be my Sunday, and I don't think very many go live Sunday, except for Cal. I'll try to get in there. So I'll probably pop on here sometime during the day. Trying to figure out a good time to go live, because evidently one on Thursdays is not it, because I don't seem to be getting out of bed till 1. It's like, geez, I stay up all night. Oh, I feel for her, because Delta was scary. I walked into so many rooms and people be turning purple, and yeah, scary. Delta was awful. If all the rest of them come out like Omicron, I'm fine. But Delta was scared. Delta actually terrified me. Well, guys, I'm gonna hop out of here. Thank you for coming. Come back again, and I will see y'all later.